Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right, we are live on YouTube. How is everybody doing today? It's a beautiful Saturday afternoon here in Northern California, the San Francisco Bay Area, Redwood City to be exact. I hope you're having a great day wherever you are at in your neck of the woods. It's been a phenomenal day so far for myself, and yeah, I'll say my ladies had a phenomenal day too, but she had an experience today. Share more about that in a little bit. And yeah, first of all, if you're here live, I apologize for the late start again. I had a lot going on today. I was on another show, and I'm going to share more about that here in just a few. But let me just check out the chat real quick here. I'm here, Michael Portnoy. Huh. I'm parking at exit 318 to watch. Okay. At 3:20 to watch a stream at 3:30 on 326. Excellent, bro. Welcome to the show, J-Rom and Michael and anyone else that's here. We're going to wait a few minutes for the notification to go out and some more people to join. Yeah, whether you're here live or on the replay, earlier today, I was the special guest on the hashtag Empress Janet channel. And I was on there for a couple of hours, and it was a full-blown interview. And I really enjoyed being on there. My lady heard the entire interview, and she loved it. And if you folks don't know me too well, if you're new here or you just enjoy my content and like to hear me talk, because I can talk all day, every day, go to my community tab. And a couple postings down, I shared the link to the stream. And when you go over there, I would highly suggest that you subscribe to the hashtag Empress Janet channel. And then make sure you tap the bell to the right of the subscribe button. And then make sure you also select all notifications. So that way, you know when she puts out content. She does a lot of live streaming content like I do. And some pre-recorded videos, but you know, if you want to get everything from any particular creator live or the moment that it's published, you know, and you want to know that someone's going live the moment they go live as well, which is what I'm trying to say, you need to subscribe and then tap the bell and then make sure you change it to all notifications, not just, you know, customized notifications or occasional notifications. Yeah, I had a great time on the hashtag Empress Janet channel. And yeah, the usual culprits were there. People have been trolling me for years and saying the same thing, regurgitating the same stuff, trying to get me to talk about things that happened years ago. And I mean, that part was pathetic. But both Janet and I handled it very respectfully, professionally, and maturely. And it was a really good show. If you want to learn more about me and you want to hear me on a formal type of interview, go check it out. And when I say formal, it wasn't a boring interview. You know, it was a good, enlightening, and, you know, we had some good laughs, and we shared some things and our experiences and what's happened, or regarding what's happened out here on YouTube. And it was just amazing. And hashtag Empress Janet channel, or Empress Janet, or Janet in general, she moderated me on her channel. I ended up also moderating her here as well. So it's a great pleasure to reconnect with Janet on a positive, or at a positive level, like we've always wanted to connect at. And Janet, in case you're watching or if you hear this, my lady actually really likes you. She likes your interview style. And she even told me before, I went live here after she finished watching the show earlier that I was on. She went and started watching your other channel where we're live. So, if you can win over my lady, that's a good thing. That's a great thing. I ain't gonna argue that, right? So again, yeah, check that out if you want some more content to watch tonight if you weren't there live. Michael says, you schooled the mid-30s guys so professionally. Sky Church, are you a troll for Empress Janet? Because that's what she says. You really don't say a lot, Sky Church, and a lot of things you say don't make sense. Like, can you just make me aware of what your purpose is here? I'm just kind of wondering. It's not a big deal. You haven't violated any of my rules here, so it's all good. I don't understand you, Sky Church. But anyway, welcome to the show anyway. Michael says, hope you're having a good day. I'm having a great day. And that's that. So, besides that, I also did another stream last night from the studio on, how to identify and prevent yourself from getting scammed on dating apps. It was a little over 2 hours long. I think it was like 2 hours and 20-something minutes long. Pretty good stream. And I even threw in an extra bonus Reddit posting regarding something that a woman was stating in primarily a male space, which is also open to women. But it was a very interesting Reddit posting. So check that out if you need more content. If you want to view more content from me tonight, you can definitely learn a lot. And then yesterday's walking stream, you can learn a lot more about karma having no deadline. That was more so focused to a community that's known about me for a while, but anyone can learn more about, karma having no deadline and what's been going on with me and what I've been dealing with. And again, if you need more content, just watch the past few pieces of content from my channel. So today I have a very interesting topic to discuss. And, I've kind of discussed this topic before. And I don't think I gave it enough justice. And I think some of the examples that I've used, have been the same regarding this topic. And I wanted to do it some real justice by, giving you folks some other real life examples regarding spoiled, entitled millennials. So let's get right to it. Let's start the show, and I'll be also answering questions in the chat as we, proceed through the show. Welcome to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli, the Walking with Purpose live edition, live from the San Francisco Bay Trail, the SF Bay Trail here in beautiful, glorious, amazing Redwood City, California. This is episode number 257. 257. And the topic of today's show is spoiled, entitled millennials. not what you think. One more time. Spoiled and entitled millennials, not what you think. You know, I've had an audience out here on YouTube for quite some time that thinks, you know, the majority of my content or all my content is catered towards one other YouTuber, and that's the furthest thing from the truth. And I'm sure he's simulcasting me right now, and that's fine, because he's probably thinking I'm going to be talking about him, and this story is not about him. I mean, might he come up in the chat for examples? Sure, because a lot of people that follow me know him as well. But today, you know, I want to share another story about another spoiled entitled millennial, and I want to do this respectfully because this involves my girlfriend's daughter. I don't know if my lady figured out that I was going to be talking about it. I didn't tell her I was going to talk about this. It happened at the last minute after I spoke with her earlier today and found out what happened. And I want to say this. I want to share this story as respectfully as possible because, you know, I care about my lady and her family and even her daughter. I haven't met her daughter yet, but my lady's told me a lot about her 27-year-old daughter. She just turned 27 not too long ago. So she's a millennial. Millennials are age 25 through 40. So she's definitely a millennial. And she definitely has the spoiled and entitled attitude. And, you know, her mother, my lady, has been, you know, every now and then just wondering what's going on with, you know, with her little girl. You know, her little girl is actually 27 now, but, you know, that's how moms refer to their kids, right? They always look at you as little kids. Like, I'm still a baby to my mother. You will always be a baby to your mother, right? Let me just reset the chat here because I think it got stuck. I'll be right back. All right, we should be back live. We should be back live. Give me a second. I have to moderate the chat. Hold on, folks. Just a second, please. California Ford Outdoors. Thank you, Coach Eli, for talking on this topic. They're spoiled because of their parents and think that they're entitled to everything without working for it. And you hit the nail on the head, California Ford Outdoors. This has to do with the way that they were raised. And it's not just the parents that spoil these millennials or have spoiled these millennials, right? It's the parents, the grandparents, right? And other family members. And even the guys that they date. And there's a whole lot to share here today. And again, you know, I'm going to be talking about my girlfriend's daughter for example purposes because, and it's not just her, like there are a lot of ladies in their, you know, mid to late 20s and throughout their 30s that behave this way, and a lot of guys behave this way too. We know of one of them out here on, you know, this platform. We've talked enough about him lately, but those of you that have been around for a while know who I'm talking about. But you know, yeah, you know, it has to do with the way that they were raised. And, you know, for my lady, And by the way, folks, if I get cut off, um, I'm on the trail that I have reception issues on at times due to electrical interference, which is what I'm trying to say. So if I get cut off, I'll be back in about 30 to 60 seconds or less. I definitely know some. LOL. What's up, O'Neely? Great to see you here. Yeah, I saw you in the Mid-30 Millennials channel the other day on the simulcast. Not a big deal. You said something nice about me. I went and kind of scrubbed through the replay. But how you doing, O'Neely? It's great to see you here. Thank you again for becoming a channel member and for all your past donations. I greatly appreciate it. Michael was actually... Why was Michael timed out? Unless there's a trolling Michael account in here. Yeah, let Michael talk because he's been coming around for a while. I don't know what Michael said that got him timed out for 5 minutes. But okay. O'Neely says they were pissing me off. Had to say something to them. That's cool, dude. I mean, I get that you felt the need to say something to them, but and no one's going to tell you what to do, including me. I'm just saying, was it even worth your time going there? But I appreciate what you did. You know, I'm just saying, like, the more we go over there and, we, keep trying to tell him he's doing everything wrong. He already knows he's doing everything wrong. He's just going to keep using us as content. That's all he's going to do. But I appreciate that, O'Neely. Thank you so much, sir. Hope you're having a great Saturday. So yeah, no, I'm just kind of trying to figure out why Michael was timed out, because he's been completely supportive, regarding this, this thing that's been happening with this, former drama group that we've been talking about a little bit here lately. And, the head of that group, the Mid-30s Millennial. Michael, you'll be back in about 4 more minutes or so. I'm going to ask my moderators to let me moderate you from this point on. I know some moderators, moderate a lot, very, very strictly, and I kind of used to myself, but I've kind of tapered off a little bit because we've been talking about these subjects. But anyway, so here's what happened today. And this has been, happening for a while, but what happened today, my lady had the day off, and she had planned to, drive an hour or so from where she lives to meet her 27-year-old daughter, her mother, I think some other family members, and her 27-year-old daughter's future mother-in-law, the mother of the man that her daughter is engaged to. Her daughter recently got engaged a few months back or so to a man she's been dating for a while. That's like 32, I think he's like 33 or so, a little bit older, than her daughter. And her daughter, my lady was telling me her daughter was saying some things like, I don't want Eli coming to the wedding, not to the wedding, they were there because they were planning the engagement party. I don't want Eli coming to the engagement party. And my lady, her mother, asks her, why not? Well, I don't know who he is. I've never met him. Well, it's 6 months away. There's plenty of time to meet him between now and then. any normal human being would put two and two together, right? And, handle that in a much more respectful and mature way, right? So instead of her daughter, saying that, oh, that's cool, right on. I'd like to meet him sometime soon. Because I want to know everyone that comes to my engagement party. She could have approached it that way, but she was, talking out of her, her rear end, and on her all high and mighty horse, on her high and almighty horse. Let's put it that way. That sounds better. That's the right way to say it. And saying, I don't want Eli coming to the engagement party because I don't know him. And that triggered my lady, and it also triggered her mother. And I told my lady, I'm like, you know what? I'm not bothered by it. And quite frankly, if I was you and your mother, if she continues behaving that way and acting all spoiled and entitled, right, then, maybe your mother and your father, her grandparents, and you and myself don't go to the engagement party or the wedding. Maybe that'll teach her a lesson. Maybe she'll realize what she's done when we don't show up, right? Now, that behavior is preposterous. It is very immature and just, piss poor behavior for a grown-ass 27-year-old woman to behave. Especially after what her mother and her father, now, obviously my lady is with me, no longer with her father. They've been divorced for a while. But both, my lady and my lady's daughter's father have done everything for her. Helped her out financially. They put her through a good school to get a degree that she's not using and doesn't know if she wants to use it or not, but they spent all that money to put her through school, right? And my lady's parents, her daughter's grandparents, have also been supporting their granddaughter, my lady's daughter, financially and doing everything for her, handing everything to her on a silver fucking platter. And I talked with my lady and I said, let me guess. She was the firstborn and she was a girl. So you all pedestalized her. You all gave her everything. You all spoiled the shit out of her, and now she's spoiled rotten. And she's become spoiled and entitled, and she basically expects anything and everything to go her way and has no care or consideration for anyone else's feelings, wants, and needs. It's ridiculous, folks. When you're engaged, if you're happily engaged and you've got your family that, is going to put in their hard-earned money to give you the engagement party of a lifetime and the wedding of a lifetime, and you treat them like they're garbage, fuck that. That's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous and preposterous, right? But what I think is further enabling this behavior, this is why I talk about these things. I talk about these things because there's another, issue I see here. I've talked to a lady about this. Before I get to that, let me check out the chat here real quick. I'm going to go off the air and come back, so I think the chat... All right, I'm back. Let me see here. He said he and have mommy issues? Yeah, I know Michael has no content, California Ford Outdoors, but sometimes people are just viewers and they don't have a channel. Just because somebody doesn't have any content doesn't mean that, they're a troll. I mean, I did ask him that when he first came on here, and he's been very respectful, but you didn't know that. I only want people to be timed out or banned or have messages deleted that blatantly are way out of line. Like if they share their opinion about something, let them talk. But you didn't know that. Not a big deal. But Michael's fine. Let me moderate Michael myself. He's going to be fine. Michael, I apologize for that. And no big deal, California Ford Outdoors. Rosie's back. Awesome. Let me see here. What's sad is that they want their entitlement like a crown and they refuse to work or take responsibilities for their actions. That's because that's the way they were raised by their parents. It's purely the parents' fault, the grandparents. And I'm not trying to. I love my lady's family. Don't get me wrong. They're good people, but they know they enabled this behavior, and now they're trying to figure out how to correct this. Right? Give me a second here. I'm doing good, bro. I hope you're doing good today. I'm doing great, O'Neely. Thank you for being here, brother. Good afternoon, Lewis. Hi, everyone. Hey, Lewis, welcome to the show. Yeah, he don't care, says O'Neely. Oh, okay, says California Ford Outdoors. Okay, cool. All right. California Ford Outdoors, Lewis Fuller with 5 hearts. Awesome. Lewis Fuller, hi, California Ford. You look good in blue. Awesome. Yeah. We're going to be doing some collab streams and podcasts together, Lewis. I look forward to that, California Ford Outdoors. Maybe we can talk sometime this coming week. It's been a busy weekend, and I got to get some rest and talk with my lady later tonight. But we'll talk sometime this coming week. You're welcome, says Lewis. California Ford Outdoors says, they're spoiled brats who have no life. They will amount to nothing for being that way. Well, they can turn around, and that's what I want to do is help people, even the millennials, turn their lives around. But they got to be open to it, and it's not easy to convince them. If their own family members can't convince them, how the hell can I do it? But at least I can try and share the stories, and maybe it'll resonate with them someday. Michael says, wow, you are brave to say that. I would have said, you guys go instead. It is okay if I don't go. I'll answer that in a second, Michael. California Ford Outdoors. So therefore, her new husband will support her financially since she'll be a stay-at-home wife with no job title. Yeah, wait till you hear what I have to say about that. I've talked to my lady about this, and this is a great example. Okay. Hit the thumbs up, says O'Neely. Thank you. Yeah, we've got 10 thumbs up, 20 in the box. Thank you for being here. Rosie Wren, the queen of YouTube. Hi, y'all. Rosie, we will moderate you at some point. I want to see you spend a little time here and being reformed. And we'll eventually get you on Mod Ranch back. How's that, Rosie? Welcome to the show. My thoughts and prayers go out to your grandmother. I believe it's your grandmother that's been very, very sick. Hello, Rosie, says O'Neely. And hi, Rosie, says California Ford Outdoors. So happy to see you. Awesome. Awesome. And I'm glad to have you back here, Rosie. I'm glad to see a lot of people coming back for some positive, uplifting content and to hear the truth. And to not have to deal with fake instigated drama, as much anymore. So yeah, California Ford Outdoors, you hit the nail on the head. So let me tell you now what's further enabling that behavior. And I told my lady this, and I told her out of love. I said, baby, you know how I feel about you. I really care about you very deeply. And I care about the well-being of you and your child and their future marriage and all that. But my lady, I said, look, here's the problem. Because I've seen pictures of her daughter's fiance. And I've heard stories, like my lady's told me that her daughter's fiance is the kind of guy that doesn't like confrontation, that kind of just likes to, ignore things and stuff. And I said, you know what, babe, that's the problem right there. The problem is that her man is not correcting her piss poor behavior. He's not standing up to her and saying that this is ridiculous behavior and I didn't sign up for this. You're a grown-ass, mature woman. And if you're going to behave this way, then I'm not going to marry you. But see, here's the real problem. This guy doesn't have a set of balls. Well, he does, but he needs to grow a pair. This is the kind of guy, and I hate to say this, I don't want to be mean, because I'm going to meet this guy one day, and it's like I don't want my lady to not, have the marriage go through. I don't want anything bad to happen to my lady or her daughter or anything. But the bottom line is the reason why her daughter's behavior is being further enabled is because her fiance, is acting like a beta male. I'm just going to be polite and say that. He's being a beta boy. And her daughter wears the pants in that relationship. Her daughter's controlling everything. I'll tell you this right now. I told my lady this because my lady, since I've known her for 6 months and some issues have come up with her daughter, has been blaming herself for, all of this, for other reasons. And it's not her fault. If there's anything to blame for, it's the entitlement and giving. It's basically, you all have given this woman when she was a little girl and continue to give her way too much. You've given her way too much when she was a little girl, and you continue to give her way too much. And she's never learned responsibility. And that's created the level of entitlement, the attitude, the controlling nature, right? So you've got this 33-year-old, very nice guy. He has a good job, makes over 6 figures. He's a district manager for a company I'm not going to mention. Obviously, I don't want people to find out who these people are, because you know what people will do. They'll troll and they'll create issues, right? This is just for example purposes, right? This guy makes well over 6 figures. He's renting a home in an area that's very, very affordable, probably 1/4 the rent of where I live. So he's doing pretty well, right? So if you put 2 and 2 together here, very nice guy, millennial guy too, okay? And the story about this guy, I shouldn't say this, but I will, because I really like this guy, and I really think if this guy grew a spine and grew a set below his waist, he could turn this whole thing around. And if it doesn't work out with my lady's daughter, and she leaves him because he calls her out, then he'll find someone that will respect him more, and will not be entitled, and will be a grown-ass, mature woman at age 27, not act like a freaking 2-year-old female dog at that age. It's ridiculous, right? I know, babe, I know you're watching, but this is the truth, and this is a great example because I want to help you turn this around so it can be wonderful and amazing. But if it continues to go this way, this is what's going to happen. If it continues to go this way, here's what's going to happen. I'll check out the chat in a few. Is that they're going to get married. She'll have a few kids. It's going to be a loveless and sexless marriage, because how in the world will any woman respect a man when she has more balls than he does? I'm going to repeat that again. How do you expect any woman to respect a man? I'm going to pull over to the side because there's somebody coming. I'm going to wait for pass. All right, so I should be back. Like I said, I'm going to pull up the side here and wait for somebody that's coming to pass. Let me check out the chat here real quick. Let me see here. Thanks for clarifying me on your channel, Coach Eli. You're welcome, California Forward Outdoors. Rosie Wren, hey, California Forward Outdoors. California Forward, Rosie, my sister friend, great to see you. Rosie, I like your mic, Eli. Yeah, it's a windscreen because if I didn't have this on, you wouldn't be able to hear me. So it's a headset microphone, but I have this big windscreen on here, so you're able to hear me clearly with great audio and not crackling wind noise. Thank you for noticing that, Rosie. Sounds like a plan, Coach Eli. Fantastic. I'll get in touch with you sometime this week and we'll talk. Coach J-Ron, my 20 and 24-year-old work for everything they have, even when they were teens. I made them do stuff around the house for the money they asked for. That's because you raised them right and you taught them responsibility, J-Ron. Just like you and I both learned responsibility from our parents, right? That's the problem nowadays. These kids never learn responsibility because instead of their parents, teaching them responsibility and setting boundaries and disciplining them, they hand them everything. Why? Well, here's what happened with my lady. My lady and her ex-husband, they were both working opposite shifts. They were making very good money combined, right? But look what happened because of that. Look what's happening to the kids nowadays. And I hate to say it, ladies, I'm not trying to be mean. I support women being liberated, but because of women being liberated and working, and both the man and the woman working, what happens to the kids? They get raised by the grandparents or babysitters or nannies, and they don't learn responsibility. That's what happened. Good idea, says Rosie, about the modding. Absolutely. Big Dog, what's going on? Hello. Rosie, and I hope it is okay that I am streaming your stream. You know what? I'm not going to question that anymore. I would prefer for people to come here, but hey, you know what? Do what you got to do, Rosie. I don't know why you'd feel the need to do that, but if that's what you want to do what you got to do. I'm not going to strike you down. I'm not going to strike anyone down. The people that want to be here will be here. It's not a big deal. Why does everybody want to simulcast me? I mean, I don't get it. I don't get it. Anyway. Some men don't have the balls to tell their woman, change your ways and get a job. This is not about even her getting a job. And look, it's okay if she wants to be a stay-at-home mom for a little while. That's not a problem as long as she respects her man. And her behavior to me makes me believe that she doesn't really respect him. He's a really, really nice guy, and she sees him as a provider. And I know, my lady, I know you're watching, and babe, look, I care about you, but I'm going to share the truth. We have neighbors who are breadwinners while their wives stay at home and do nothing. Yeah, and guess what happens? You have a loveless and sexless relationship or marriage, and then they end up cheating, getting divorced. Then it creates issues with the kids, child custody, splitting the marital assets. When all you folks have to do is better qualify or properly vet your prospects before you get married to make sure you're compatible. That's the problem nowadays, is that these women, because of women's lib, which is fine, they're more empowered and entitled, and they're stronger than the men that they're with. And these women, they look for men like this, maybe not consciously, maybe subconsciously, but still, subconsciously they find these really nice guys that can provide, yet they're not really attracted to them physically or anything like that. They like the fact that they're a nice guy that can take care of them, and that's not going to keep it going. Oh my God. I'm learning so much from you, Eli. I'm being truly honest with you. Well, I'm glad you are. Michael, how old are you, bro? Did you say you were 19 or something? Or how old are you, dude? I'm curious. Not a big deal. And where are you from? You don't have to say exactly, but are you in the U.S.? Are you in a certain state? You're deaf and alpha male, Eli. Well, I appreciate that, bro. Wasn't necessary to say, but thank you, brother. She married him for his money and property. Well, that's sad to hear. Michael, I know plenty of millennial women who have such temper tantrums in the regular. That's because they're spoiled and entitled by their parents. They never learned responsibility. And then they expect men to do everything, right? I mean, how can you live in a world where women want to flex their muscles and say that they're liberated and they're independent, yet then they get mad when men don't want to do shit for them, right? Because real men are not going to put up with that. Michael, how did your woman take that? Sorry for getting personal. I'm glad you had the balls to say the truth there and not sugarcoat it. I've been talking about this with my woman for many months. And she was a little triggered at first. But I told her, baby, I care about you. I love you. Look, babe, if we don't talk about this now and find a way to fix it now, it's going to create a worse issue for everyone, including you and me down the road with what's going to happen in their marriage. So why not be proactive about it, right? This is not about trying to, be the spoiler. This is about trying to prevent this destructive thing that's going to happen. We all, guys that have been following this content, and people in general, guys or gals, but more so guys that have been following this content, have seen this shit happen time and time and time and time again. And I see this happening like it's clear as night and day. 32 Florida, right on. Oh, you're pretty close by to where the mid-30s guy used to live. Right on, bro. Thank you for that. Society calls them Karens. Yeah, I guess so. I am back in the stream, says Lewis. Good show with Janet today, says Stephanie. Hey, Stephanie, how you doing? You're Janet's right-hand person. When I verify your channel, I'm probably going to moderate you here, too. I want to get with Janet first and, run it all by her. But welcome to the show, Stephanie. Thank you so much. What did you like about the show earlier that I did with Janet? Feel free to share your thoughts. Sure, thanks, says Stephanie. Yeah, Janet kept saying a lot of great things about you. Michael says, and she respects you even more now. Oh, are you talking about my woman? Oh, of course she does. See, my woman may not like everything I say because it's the truth, but she respects the fact that I'm an honest and truthful guy. And look, I care about her. I care about her daughter. Even though if I was her daughter's father, I'd be shoving my 10 and a half. I better not say that because YouTube might not like that. But I'll tell you this. If I was her father, and I was at that meeting earlier today planning a party, an engagement party that I was going to foot the bill for, and the rest of the family, I'd be saying, fuck this shit. You need to change your attitude right now, or you're not getting anything. I wouldn't put up with that crap. And see, here's the thing. What her fiance doesn't realize is he could turn this around by being a man and talking with her and just confronting her. See, here's the thing. When he confronts her, if he confronts her on this and says, babe, you're being ridiculous. I don't like your attitude. I don't like the way you're treating your parents. I don't like the way you're handling this. There's a more mature way to do it. She'll act out, right? And then all he has to do is say, look, I'm not going to put up with this crap attitude. That's not the woman I fell in love with or got engaged to. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. If you don't change your attitude right now, I'm going to, walk out of the house and I'm going to go stay with my mother for a couple weeks while you figure out if you still think it's a good idea for us to be married or not. And I bet you, if he had the balls to say that to her, like any man should, any real man should, I bet you she would flip her attitude like a switch. And then she would flip her attitude, and that would turn her on because she'd say, finally, my man grew a set. Finally, my man grew a set. What this dude doesn't get is this woman, my lady's daughter, just wants her man to man the fuck up. You don't have to be a jerk, dude. But don't sit there and enable this crap that you don't like. I don't like confrontation. I don't either, dude. But I also don't like bullshit. You're going to put up with the BS? Because you don't like confrontation? Any real man is not going to like confrontation, but also any real man is not going to put up with this, man. We're just not going to put up with it, right? This dude has the power to turn it around, right? By saying exactly what I just said. But he's not man enough. That's the bottom line. I know my lady hearing this. We've talked about it. I know she's not going to like it. And I'm sorry, babe, if that hurts you. But it's the truth. This is a great example because this is how the majority of the millennials have been raised. And that's why that's a part of the reason why women aged 25 to 40 nowadays that are single, a lot of them are single because of their entitlement attitude. And when I was single, before I got with the lady I'm with right now, I came across a lot of them. And when I would notice their entitlement, I'd be, fuck this, I'm out. I want none of that. A lot of other content creators out there. I follow this guy, the 33 Secrets channel, which is what I'm trying to say, run by a guy that's named Michael. He calls himself M from the 33 Secrets channel. He keeps talking about the level of entitlement these women have nowadays, right? And it's also, you know, rubbing off on women from my generation in their you know, mid to late 40s and 50s. Like it's creating women that weren't entitled to feel entitled. It's surreal what's happening out there. Yes, you did a good job today, Eli. Hey, thank you for being there, Lewis. Lewis Fuller, Janet. If you need another good moderator, Lewis Fuller is one of the most trusted people I've ever encountered on YouTube. He's the nicest guy in the world. He's a great guy. Casually Unfiltered Forever. Hey, Chris, how you doing, bro? Hey, Eli, Empress Janet's here. Hashtag Empress Janet. Thank you again for having me on your show earlier, Janet. Big up, Eli, chat, and Mama. Yes, 15 thumbs up, 24 in the box. Thank you so much for being here. Stephanie, I can tell you're honest and kind person. I do my best, Stephanie. The only way you can help people is by being brutally honest. I mean, here's the thing. I was questioned on the show earlier today on Janet's show. You know, that what was that person saying? What were they saying? I was being demeaning or something like that to people or something. I can't remember the exact word. Am I still here? Okay. You got to be upfront and honest with people in order for them to realize the help they need so they can turn things around. If I were to sugarcoat this with my lady or anyone else that I've tried to help, right, then all I'm doing is further enabling that entitlement, that spoiled and entitled behavior. These spoiled and entitled kids, especially if they're grown-ass adults, they need to have the law laid down on them. They need the hammer. They need someone to say, hey, cut this crap out. Either cut this crap out or we're going to cut you off. We're not going to help you anymore. We're going to walk away. That's the only thing. That's the only thing that will turn it around. You got to cut them off and let them figure it out on their own. And if that means they're broken homeless, and if that means that, you know, it breaks up an engagement or something, then so be it. I don't want that to happen in this case to my lady's daughter, but I mean, if I was the fiance here, like honestly, it would have never gotten to this point because I wouldn't be engaged. I wouldn't propose to a woman that was behaving this way. I wouldn't, right? And you can't sit here and tell me that this guy, even though, he's a really nice guy, doesn't like confrontation, and he's a beta male in my opinion, right? You can't sit here and say that that he doesn't realize what's going on. He knows exactly what's going on. He just doesn't have the balls to confront her because he knows that she may end up walking. And dude, if she ends up walking, then you have your answer. I don't think she would walk here. I think that she would actually start to respect you, and that entitlement would start to go down at least a little bit. God, for Christ's sake. Casually Unfiltered Forever. I have some great news on something with my main channel to share with you, Eli. You want to share it here publicly, or you want to share it privately? Or you want us to go to your channel, Chris? Let us know. You go to the observation deck for a few minutes. Folks, I'm not doing any more content today. I was thinking about doing an in-studio stream, but I did a 2-hour interview earlier on Empress Janet's channel, and now this is going to be about a 2-hour stream, so that's going to be it for today. I'm going to go home, eat some dinner, and then I'm going to talk with my lady and call it a night and start planning for our little mini getaway next week. Get out of town for a little bit. I'll be right back. I'm going to go off the air and come back to reset. Let me see here real quick. Empress Janet said, I modded him. Awesome, Janet. Thank you for moderating Lewis. He's a great guy, very trustworthy, and he knows how to handle the trolls. He knows all the trolls because the same trolls were trolling him after he connected with me a while back. Casually Unfiltered Forever. I uploaded a short 16 hours ago, and it's at 1,000 views already. That's awesome, bro. Congratulations, Casualty Unfiltered Forever. Coach J-Rom. Judgmental is the word you were called. Yeah, that's what it was. Thank you. Thank you for reminding me of that, J-Rom. Yeah, it's not that I'm being judgmental. It's the fact that you got to be brutally honest with people if you're going to be able to help them. And if they're going to attack you and say you're being judgmental when, in all honesty, you're trying to help them, then they're not ready for help. That's the bottom line. That's the truth of the matter right there. Thank you again for that assist there, J-Rom. Hashtag Empress Janet says, go look at my streams and you will see Stephanie as mama of the universe. She has no content because she is a supporter, a consumer, Eli. Fantastic. Great. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you, Janet. I'm going to start walking down. I may come sit at this bench over here for a second. There's a mountain biker over here. Maybe they want to come up to the observation deck. No, they're going to start heading back. All right. All right. So interesting. That guy that's always on this trail right around the same time as me is here. No, he's not a troll. He hasn't been paid. He hasn't been paid by the fake caregiving sponsor to come and stalk me and troll me on this trail every day. He just lives around here. I'm going to probably have to use the restroom in a few, folks. So this is my suggestion. I've never had any kids, but I've dated women with kids. And, I've just done a lot of research, and I've encountered many millennial males and females, on this platform on YouTube. And I got to tell you, I can't believe, I just can't believe the behavior I've seen from grown-ass men and women, especially men and women under the age of 40, right? And this also stems into the Gen Z men and women that are, under 25, but older than 10, right? And it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I'm going to wait for this guy to pass. Come over here for a few. It's going to be interesting to see what happens to the alpha generation, which is, under 10. They're still too young to have any data on them. We're going to have to wait until they get to 12 or 13 and they start maturing a little bit and start getting smartphones and tablets. And, when they get to 15 and 16 and start dating, we're going to start to see, how they're going to handle things compared to the Gen Zers and the Gen Y millennials handle things. Like, something's got to give. And, in my personal opinion, and this is not, an attack on women or anything. I love women and I respect women and I am happy that women are liberated, but this completely has to do with women being liberated and becoming independent and working in the workforce, because it has changed the, dynamics of how the family is, right? How did it used to be? How was it when I was raised? Right? And these people on the other side, the other guy, the mid-30s millennial guy, we're not really talking about him, but his group of people the other day in their chat was questioning, well, your mother worked. She didn't start working until I was 16, and my brother was almost 15. And by that point, we were old enough to take care of ourselves, right? But initially, my father was the one that was working 14 hours a day, 7 days a week, to bust ass, and my mother stayed home and raised my brother and I. It was a traditional family. And look at how I turned out and how my brother turned out. My brother turned out great, right? We're not perfect, and we're not trying to say we're perfect, but we're good guys, and we are responsible guys, and we're mature guys, right? Now, do we have our moments? Sure. Do we say things sometimes that we don't mean? Sure. But for the most part, we're people, and, we handle situations as respectfully and maturely as possible. In a similar situation as the one that my lady was in with her family and her daughter and all that earlier today, my brother and myself would have handled that situation in a much more mature way. Because my brother and I are not spoiled and entitled. We were raised by a strong father and a feminine mother. My mother was also strong too, became stronger as she got older. But my mother was always very nurturing and very loving. Too loving, I must say, but that's better than not being loving at all. So I respect and appreciate that. My father was more strict. He wasn't overly strict, but he was pretty strict. And no one messed with him because he was too smart. That's where I learned. That's where I learned my stuff from. My daughter. I don't have a daughter. My dad, which is what I'm trying to say. My dad, my father, was a very intuitive man. And that's where I get my intuition from, because most men don't have the intuition that my father had and I have. More so women are better at, with intuition than men. But My father was very intuitive, and he knew when I was bullshitting him. And he would call me out every time. He would say, son, that's bullshit. And he was right, but I would tell him, no, it's not. You're wrong, right? But my dad was right every time. And even though I couldn't admit it, I knew my dad was right. And because my dad called me out, as a father should, when I'm out of line, I learned responsibility. I learned to be a better person. I had a great father figure as a role model and a great mother figure as a role model. And I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not perfect by far, but I feel I've turned out okay. And I would never be disrespectful, in a family situation, whether it's my family, my lady's family, or anything else, right? I mean, think about it. Think about it this way. My girlfriend's 27-year-old daughter was also there with her future mother-in-law. I don't know where. I don't know if the father is still alive of my girlfriend's daughter's fiance or boyfriend, fiance, whatever you want to call him, right? I think it's just the mother around. But the mother was there at that meeting. And I mean, as the bride-to-be, right, at that meeting, that also included her future mother-in-law, that's giving her son her blessing to marry you. You behaving that way, ma'am, in front of your future mother-in-law is fucking preposterous. I mean, if I was sitting on that side of the table, and I was, the fiance's, her fiance's father, I'd be like, to the mother, the wife, right? If she was my wife, I'd be like, we need to talk. Because I don't know if I can give my blessing for this. I mean, here's the thing. If it was just my lady's daughter's family there and not the in-laws, right? I could kind of understand having a little spat. But to show that behavior to your future mother-in-law and you feeling it's okay to behave that way in front of your future mother-in-law, wow. That's some serious entitlement right there. Wow. I'm going to go off the air, folks. I will be right back. I'm going to check the chat. The chat froze again. All right, folks, we should be back. The chat refreshed. I'll get to it in a second. I want to take this moment, whether you're here live or on the replay, please like this video, smash that thumbs up. Please share this out on your community tab. Share it out all over social media. Share it out wherever. Please also subscribe, bang the bell, select the notifications if you haven't already. If you're chatting here, it's a requirement to be subscribed. So thank you so much for subscribing. But also make sure you tap the bell icon and select all notifications so you know exactly when I go live and when I put out a piece of pre-recorded content. So, if you're around, you don't miss anything. Or if you're not around, you get the notification and you can watch the replay if you'd like, right? Check out the chat. Michael says, line you said before, if a woman truly loves you, then she will move mountains. So that's true. Right. Michael, you're absolutely right on that. I mean, seriously, guys. A woman that is truly, genuinely into you, beyond your money, beyond even your looks, into you with her heart and soul, that woman will move mountains for you. And that's why I'm still with my woman. And that's why I care about her so much. Because she had a lot of issues when I met her. And she knows it. And she kept questioning why I'm still with her. But she kept fighting and moving mountains to try to be with me. And how the hell, as a man, can I not respect that? I respected that to the fullest. I'm like, this tiny woman, she's like 5'6", 5'7", like maybe, I think she's gained a few pounds, finally. She needed to gain something. I've been feeding her a lot lately. She's like maybe 112, 113 pounds now. She was like 110, right? This tiny woman, you know, has been moving big-ass mountains just to want to be with me, to show me how much she wants to be with me, to show me how much she wants it. Now, I've had some women that have moved some mountains for me, but not like this. So yes, baby, I know you're watching. No one's moved as many mountains consistently as you have. Not even Dana. I'm not trying to criticize her. She was a good woman. I'm not trying to be disrespectful to her. She did a lot, but my current woman, just wow, right? You know, just like the former lady of the mid-30s guy. Moved mountains for this guy, and I knew she was going to do it because I knew she was really into him. When a woman really is into you, she will move mountains. Bottom line. Thank you for bringing that up again, Michael. J-Rom says, listening to how the young woman is behaving is a good spanking to tears by her man would do her good. And that's what I was saying earlier. I don't know if you heard that part. The part of the reason why she still has this entitlement behavior is because her man has no spine and no balls. And he doesn't like confrontation. That's what my lady told me. So he avoids all confrontation. And while, you know, that's a good thing to want to avoid usually as a man, sometimes it's unavoidable. Sometimes as a man, you gotta confront certain things. Okay? Especially if you're with a woman that's misbehaving and out of line and being ridiculous and behaving like a 2-year-old at age 27. I mean, how the hell can a grown-ass, mature, respectful, professional, hardworking man that makes over 6 figures that acts his age be okay being with a woman that acts like she's 2? I mean, how the hell can you be okay with that? The reason why I'm with my woman is because she acts her age. Well, I'll say she acts a little. I'll say my woman acts like she's in her 30s because it makes her feel better when I think she's still as sexy as she was in her younger days. There you go, baby. If you want me to appease you, it's all good. Yes, says Sky Church. What do you say yes to? Don't mind the spelling and grammar. I'm walking and typing as well. No, I get you, J-Rom. No big deal. Sky Church with a few emojis. Okay. Coach J-Rom, honestly, if you look back to the beginning of the economic downslide, and to the beginning of the rise in divorce rates, it coincides with women's lib. Coincidence? I think not. No. J-Rom, listen, dude, you're absolutely right. I've been saying this all along. And I'm saying this respectfully because, number one, I know you're not a misogynist and I'm not a misogynist. Let me repeat that one more time. I'm not a misogynist and I know J-Rom, Coach J-Rom is not a misogynist, right? It's the truth. Women's lib changed everything. It made women independent, which is fine for women to have equal rights and to do whatever they want to do, right? No problem. But what they didn't take into consideration is how it's going to affect the family, right? How it's going to affect family life, right? How it's going to affect marriages, right? It has completely affected marriages. It has shifted women's behavior into being more masculine than feminine, right? And again, I'm not here to take away anything from anyone, including women. If women want to behave more masculine and they want to work their life away and not have a family, no problem. You go do that. I'll go find a woman that's more feminine and is more well balanced. I don't mind. My lady works, but she's well balanced. Hey, J-Rom, your lady works, but she's well balanced, right? Your lady's like, I'm all masculine at work, but I'm all feminine at home. All right. Now, I've said before, in your case, like your woman goes from one extreme to the other, J-Rom. She's 100% masculine at work and 100% feminine at home. But it wouldn't be a problem if she, was a little masculine 10 or 20% of the time. It would just kind of change things up. I told my lady, baby, I like the fact you challenge me sometimes, all right? Most of the time you're submissive, but sometimes you challenge me. And if you didn't challenge me, I'd get bored, right? You got to test my male hot buttons sometimes, right? It's fun, right? And here's the thing. People know I don't like drama, but a little teeny tiny drama every now and then is okay. It keeps the juices flowing, right? It keeps the pipes clean, right? Excuse me. Michael says, see, I pay attention to your insightful content. That's great, Michael. You're not trolling, are you, brother? You're making it very apparent. Okay. Eli, you're really awesome. Well, thank you, Rosie. You're awesome yourself. So happy wife, happy life. Could it coexist then? Yeah, if you find the right person. If you find a more feminine woman and you're a more masculine man, it'll work. And you just respect each other as man and woman. Matt Shingy Army, how you doing? Your lady should disown her daughter for this disrespect. What do you think, Eli? No, I don't think she should. I don't think she should disrespect. Stick around, Sheng. I have a few questions to ask you. I don't think she should disown her daughter. This is what I told her, that what your daughter, what we should do, but I'm going to leave it up to her. I think that, we just shouldn't go to the engagement party. And my lady told me her mother, which is her daughter's grandmother, was thinking the same thing. Like my lady's mother, she's a good woman. I've talked to her by phone before. I haven't met her yet, but I will be meeting her soon. She's a good woman. She's pretty strong. She's a pretty strong woman. But she respects me because she knows I'm strong too, and I don't put up with BS, right? And she's been helping my lady's daughter, her granddaughter, with lots of money and other things, emotional support and all that, right? But now even my lady's mother, her daughter's grandmother, was livid today. Livid. And I'm like, babe, that's not healthy for your mother to have to go through this. I think her mother's like 67. I mean, my mother is, 71 now, I believe. Like, I would never, ever want to put that much stress upon a woman in her late 60s or early 70s, especially when they've done everything for you, right? Anyway, give me a second here. Shing, I want to ask you a question while you're here before I go off the air for a split second or so, and then come back so the chat can reset. I'm sure you know a lot about what's going on with the former Mrs. Lycan or anything like that. A lot of people are really worried about her, and we're really concerned. If you know of anything, if you know any information about her being safe, can you please at least let us know that she's safe and okay? And the last thing, you know, hopefully, again, I hate to keep saying this, but I'm hoping this whole thing wasn't a fabricated, instigated thing where she's just hiding out for a few weeks to get people to talk about it, and then she'll pop back and it'll be this big joke on all of us, right? That's why I keep saying this, because if that does happen, then I'll just refer to the many various parts of all these videos I've created and say I called it. I knew this was a possibility. So it's like, you know, again, I don't think that's happening, but I want to know if you know she's okay. A lot of people are worried. I'm almost surprised she hasn't reached out to me just to say she's okay. This is some serious concern. I'm like honestly, genuinely concerned. Despite the past. I'll be right back, folks. I'm back, and hang on a second. I should be back. I got a text message from my lady while I was resetting the YouTube app, and she wanted to clarify something. That she said her daughter is not a gold digger. She's just an entitled brat. She has a job. No, yes. Her daughter, I forgot to mention that. Her daughter is working, but she's got like a degree in a pretty lucrative career. Okay? And instead of doing that lucrative career, she's doing receptionist work for like minimum wage. But, babe, at the same time, you've said that she'd rather not work and be a stay-at-home mom. Which, I wouldn't see a problem with that as long as her man grew a set of twins below his waist and started standing up to her, and that way she could respect him more. So yeah, I wanted to clear that up, because I'm not gonna mention anything, but my lady saw some comments and she wanted to just clear it up. So there you go, babe. There you go. And thank you for being a good sport, because I wanted to talk about this, because I wanted to, you know, kind of shift things up, and I like talking about things in real time, things that can help a lot of other people. It just so happens to be that this situation with your daughter, a lot of people have gone through, and we could help a lot of people, you know, just talking about the story anonymously. Michael says, I'm not trolling at all. I'm glad you found you. You found you? What do you mean by that, Michael? I found me or her? Shangy says, I hope your lady boycotts this engagement party. You should be treated better than this, Eli. Dude, I mean, I'm not being treated poorly. My woman treats me well. I think you were talking about what her daughter said earlier about not wanting me at the engagement party because she doesn't know me. I'm not going to hold that against my lady or anyone else. That didn't come out of my lady's mouth or my lady's mother's mouth or anything. It came out of her daughter's mouth. And I don't think her daughter, you know, really cares whether I'm there or not. I don't think this all boils down to who's there or not. I think this all boils down to her daughter is just not happy about something. And if I had to guess about what her daughter's not happy about, she's not happy about the fact that her man has no fucking spine and no balls to stand up to her and make her feel like a woman wants to feel. Like I told my lady when I first met her, it's like, you know, besides physical and stuff like that, what attracts you to me? What keeps you coming back? And she goes, it's the fact that you stand up to me and you don't let me get away with my BS. I feel I can trust you and I feel safe around you. Well, that's because I'm a man. Last time I checked below the belt, everything was still intact. Right? But at the same time, she calls me out on my shit, and I respect that completely. So yeah, no, I get where you're coming from on that, Shangy. If my lady, approached me in that way, I wouldn't put up with that. I'd give her a chance to correct it, and if not, I would walk. But she would never do that to me. She hasn't. My lady's Gen X. I'm Gen X. We were raised in a more traditional way. Truth Bomb says Empress Janet. Empress Janet Facts Eli, watch all sides of the stories. Matt Shangy says she's fine. Welcome back. Question, how often do you ride bike? To who? To me? I haven't ridden the bike in a while. Eli, you should go buy your woman some flowers. Does your lady's daughter watch your streams? I don't think she does. I'm sorry, I meant no disrespect to your woman. Oh, no, no problem, Michael Shangy. I'm not doing this, solely to try to reach out to my lady's daughter. If she ends up watching this, I'm sure she'll probably initially hate me a lot more because the truth hurts, right? But no, I don't think she's watching this. And the reason why I'm talking about this, and whenever I talk about anything, it's to help the masses. It's to help people understand what's really happening in this world with men and women, especially men and women from our new generations. Now, Shangy, you're a decent dude. You happen to be a millennial, but you have more of a Gen X type of mentality. Now, you've had your moments, so have I. We've all had immature moments, but I think, Shangy, for the most part, you're more mature than the average millennial. Certainly one that we know, that I'm sure you're no longer a part of anymore after what I assumed happened is true. I guess we'll find out in a week or two if, that lady returns. I want to be respectful and not mention her name per her request in the past. But yeah, I'm glad to hear that she's okay. Maybe you've been in communication with her. Well, we'll see what happens eventually. Knowing her, she'll probably shock us all. Right? Maybe she's sitting back and just watching all these shows and just resting for once and watching the shit shows, right? Except for mine, because mine's not a shit show, right? Oh, man. All right, we've got 21 in the box, 15 thumbs up. Thank you to everyone for being here. Still have probably about, where are we at? 84 minutes. We still have probably about 30 minutes left on this walk. Give me just a second. Got some people coming. I just wanted to be respectful to these people. Some dude was making out with this woman, and I guess one of the mothers from whichever side is there too. They're taking a nice walk out here. That's great. Yeah, what a beautiful day, I gotta tell you, folks. It's a beautiful day for a walk. Hopefully it's beautiful in your neck of the woods and you can get out and take a walk too. I'd like to take this opportunity to ask you folks in the chat, what type of content would you like to see? Because I can talk about anything and everything. Everything, leads back to some form of a life principle in one way or another. And so I want to know what you folks need help with, or what you folks want opinions on, what topics you want to be discussed. I also want to make you folks aware, I haven't talked about this in a while, but I also have Coach Eli 2 uncensored live streams, and I think it's either over 500 subs or pretty close to it. I've got to go check, because you need 500 subs now to get a community tab. And, I am probably going to start doing some live streams on Coach Eli 2. And no matter how much that channel grows, I will probably never monetize it, because that's my uncensored channel. And, if I have a panel going on there and something gets removed, it's not going to affect this channel here. So, I've learned how to kind of deal with the YouTube system. If I'm going to bring on, certain people to do a shit show panel, which I'm not saying I'm going to do that, but sometimes they turn into a shit show panel, right? Right? I don't want to risk putting it on this monetized channel. It's been in very good standing, in perfect standing for 3 years, and 2 of those years in perfect standing with the YouTube partner program. Example, last night my stream, because it had the word scammers in it and stuff, right? It got demonetized in the middle of the stream. That happens sometimes in the studio. I submitted it for manual review, and 1 hour, after the replay started, when the live stream ended, they approved it to green. And again, you think they're watching a 2.5 hour stream before they approve it? No, they're going to my channel and they're seeing that 97% of your videos are fully monetized with no copyright claims and no community guideline strikes and nothing. You're clean. So Eli, we're just going to flip you to green because we trust you, right? And that's what you want, guys and gals. That's the secret right there. That's the secret that some other creators don't understand. And that's why they keep getting removed from the YouTube partner program. I got a woman coming on the other side, so I'm going to stay over here on this side. Anyway, I'm back. I should be back. Like I was going to say, my lady probably won't like it, but she knows how I feel about her. She's the only one for me, but the women on this trail are in phenomenal shape. Phenomenal shape. And a lot of the guys are too. Now, some guys I've seen are a little bit out of shape, and they're trying to get in shape. But it's interesting to me. I don't really see any obese women on this trail, and that's basically telling me something, because there are thirsty beta males nowadays that'll just bang anything that walks. So a lot of women that are obese aren't doing anything about their weight, because there are guys that'll just accept them for that, right? Further enabling that, right? And it's not healthy. Even if they accept you for that, it's not healthy to be overweight or obese. I've hardly seen any out of shape women on this trail. They're all like toned and in good shape. understand why my moderators didn't handle that. Moderators, what's it going to take for you to clearly moderate a very sick and disturbed man from the other side, the mid-30 millennials network? This is a guy, his name is Paul, right? Let's just call him Paul. First name only, no big deal. He's the guy, he's like in his early 50s, I believe. And he used to do heroin, I believe, for 30 years. And then he stopped using heroin, got clean, right? At least that's what he says, right? But he behaves in such erratic ways where one time, because of his behavior, I was saying, man, what have the drugs done to you, right? And I don't talk about the guy at all anymore. I don't talk about him. I'm he has I think people bought him subs. He has over 1,000 subs, I believe, because people bought him subs, but he doesn't have the biggest following. And I don't know, maybe he's lonely. I think he has a woman, but maybe he's just lonely. Maybe he just needs space from his woman. I don't know, but he just acts in such erratic ways and has created so many sock accounts now, fake accounts, right? And gets banned and keeps coming back. And it's dude, honestly, man, what's it gonna take to make you happy, bro? You want to keep coming back, giving me some views and watch time and all that? That's fine, dude. But what do you want from me, brother? It's I don't hate you, dude. It's just you're just acting very strangely. You're acting in erratic ways. You're acting like a little kid with a temper tantrum, man, like a little 2-year-old baby, right? You're 50-plus-year-old grown-ass man. I got to tell you, folks, and I'm not trying to get back on the mid-30 millennials side and his group of people, but all the guys that follow him have serious mental and emotional issues. They're guys they're guys primarily in their late 30s, 40s, or 50s. And they act like 2-year-old little girls, like 2-year-old little female dogs. They've got unresolved issues, traumatic issues that it's you try to be their friend. I've tried to be friends with all these people. And the more you try to help them and be their friend, the more triggered they get. It's like they love drama, and if they don't have drama in their lives, they instigate it because that's what makes them feel better, because that's how low they see themselves. It's just so surreal. But mods, please, the next time you see something like that, I've got plenty of mods here now. I don't see why all of you missed it, unless you all took off all of a sudden. Let me see. Let me catch up on the chat here. So where do you meet your lady, Eli? Was this a Speedway date? No, I met her on Match.com, Shangy. I met my last 4 women on Match.com. That's the best place to meet good quality women if you're going to do it online. The rest of the dating apps are a crapshoot. More hookup sites. Let's see here. I feel that sex is important in a relationship. How is the sex, Eli? I'm dying to know. Well, Shangy, that's funny, man. I think we're all good in that department, Shangy. I've been with her for 6 months. She's been with me for 6 months. And let me tell you what's even better. Our sex life is good, but, we don't have to always have sex to be happy. Right? And, my woman's gone through a lot of things. So there are times where, she's wanted to be intimate with me. And I just held her instead because I knew that's what she more so needed. But, no, don't get me wrong. our sex life is great. And maybe that's saying too much, but I want to be honest. And, you know, I mean, I'm that transparent of a guy. And sure, my lady's like, oh, you're sharing our sex life with the world. Well, you know, the Shangy asks, what am I going to do, right? But if I don't answer that, then my lady could say, well, he doesn't want to talk about it because it's not good. No, it's good. It's fantastic. But what I'm trying to say is that what's more important to me is the emotional bond. Yeah, this new word that I've been seeing a lot lately, I guess it's been around for a little while, but I'm more of a demisexual. I don't get aroused or get turned on, even if the woman is hot, unless there's an emotional bond. It has to be real for me. So yeah, that's what they call a demisexual. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. There's sapiosexual and then there's demisexual. All these modern day millennial terms of what type of person are you? You know, sexually, right? Let me see here. Paul, go back to the mid-30s guy. Hashtag Empress, I can't even talk. Hashtag Empress Janet says, I'm clean too. They did that with mine today, Eli. They did what with yours today, Janet? What are you talking about? Can you be more specific, Janet? Because you said that a bit ago, and I didn't notice what you were responding to. I'll be listening while I'm riding mountain bike. Awesome, Rosie. Thank you for still being here. Mad Shangy Army says, I was an enabler, Eli. You seen the one I banged? Yeah, I get it, dude. We've all made mistakes, Shangy. I think you know that. We've all made mistakes. God bless, says Rosie Wren. God bless you too. So yeah, what kind of content do you folks want me to specifically tackle? I'm thinking of doing a live stream from the studio tomorrow, and a walk like in the morning, early afternoon, and another live stream from the studio. What type of topics would you like me to discuss? And if you folks want to email me at Coach Eli, coacheli@eliasmelas.com. It's really windy right here. I hope you can still hear me. If you folks want to email me at Coach Eli at coacheli@eliasmelas.com and send me, you know, any links to any topics you want me to discuss, let me know. I'd be happy to do that from the studio tomorrow. I'm going to rest for the rest of the night tonight. And then early next week, you know, anyone that wants to talk and collaborate. I know the Midnight Raven was on the stream earlier today that I did with Janet on Janet's channel, and she acknowledged my donation, and she was being really nice. I appreciate that, the Midnight Raven. You know, if you want to do a interview on your channel or my channel or whatever, I'd be happy to come to yours and, you know, help you out in any way I can. We can do it and bring Janet on there too. We can do a panel with some of the people that are on the good side of things. I just don't want to deal with any of the people from that other side on the panel. If they're in the chat, we can ignore them. I just wouldn't want them coming on the panel. It would just make it one big phony shit show at that point, you know. Oh man, what a beautiful day, I gotta tell you. Give me a second, I'll be right back. I gotta check out the chat. All right, we should be back live. Is Queen Helen Casey okay? I haven't seen her around. Yeah, no, I mentioned that a few times, but you probably didn't hear it. I mentioned it on Janet's show and on one of the recent shows. No, she's still around. She's behind the scenes in the Coach Eli moderator group chat on Facebook that we have with the mods. She's been very busy on Twitter. She's been going viral on Twitter. And because there's so many stories, especially now with the war between Russia and the Ukraine in the Ukraine, she's been just very, very focused on that. But she'll be back. No, she's taking some breaks before to more so focus on her content. It just takes a lot of her time and energy. But no, she's still a moderator here. She's still, a part of behind the scenes, and we all love her. We miss her, but we understand. And I'm sure she's been, checking in every now and then. And when she comes back fully, she's gonna see a lot of good changes and a lot more people and things heading in the right direction. So hopefully that answers your question, Shangy. Gotta go. Been a pleasure listening to you today. Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you for being here. I greatly appreciate it. Bye, Mama. Stephanie says, Janet says my streams on the green at Coach Eli. Your streams on the green? I don't know. What do you mean by that? Bye, honey, says Stephanie. I could tell you are really happy. Your face doesn't lie, says Michael. I appreciate that, bro, if you're talking about me. Janet says, topics about modern women and conservative women. Yeah, I've done that before, but I could do it again. I'll look into that tonight. Yeah, and, modern women and conservative women, all women are modern nowadays, whether they're conservative or not. But I think what you're trying to say, Janet, is conservative women versus, more, I don't want to say liberal women, because that wouldn't be the best way to put it. See, you're talking about socially conservative women, not fiscally conservative women. You're talking about socially conservative women versus the other side, which are women that are a lot more, I guess, loose or open-minded and risk takers and stuff like that. I know what you mean by that. I'll look into that. It's a great idea. Thank you for sharing that. Big up Raven says hashtag Empress Janet, about real life situations, says Michael. Okay. Michael says, like you presented about your girlfriend's daughter was very insightful. Thank you. I appreciate that, man. It's the truth. And I'm gonna do my best to help them too, because I care about my lady a lot and I care about her family. And I really do want her daughter to be happy. But, I think what's making her daughter not happy is that her man is too nice of a guy and he has no spine or balls to stand up to her. And I think her daughter knows that. I don't think, maybe her daughter doesn't clearly know that, but women know when there's something lacking in their man that they wish wasn't lacking. And maybe she doesn't want to say it, or maybe she hasn't identified it yet, but I'll tell you this. It has a lot to do. You folks correct me if I'm wrong. It has a lot to do with how the guy shows up. Because I will tell you again, when I was 33, I'd already figured most of this shit out. But when I was like under 30, I would have probably done the same thing that, this 33-year-old guy is. I would have probably, had no spine or no balls. I don't think I was that bad, but I used to, when I was younger, more so put women on a pedestal than I do now. Now, I reward them for good behavior. My lady moves mountains for me every single day without me having to do anything. So guess what? She gets everything. She gets everything because she expects nothing, and she moves mountains to be with me every day. So I'm like, okay, you're getting rewarded for good behavior. Now, when you say that to a woman, my woman, I only say that because she knows my content. She's going to be working with me down the road, right? You don't want to come out and tell your woman, babe, I'm going to reward you for good behavior. But I'm a coach. I have to explain it to you folks. And she happens to watch my content, so I got to be honest about it. When you tell your woman you reward her for good behavior, it's kind of like rewarding a dog for listening to you, right? So that's kind of like an analogy. But the bottom line is that's exactly what you're doing. And that's exactly what keeps women happy and interested is that, you know, you should do nice, good things for them if they deserve it and they've earned it. And the same goes on the flip side. They'll do nice things for you as a guy if you've earned it and you deserved it. Or you deserve it too, I mean. You know? Empress Janet says, you were talking about the streams being on green or yellow. I like mine to be green to be monetized at Coach Eli, Elias Melas. Yeah, all of mine are green. I haven't had a yellow icon in ages. Like the last 300 videos or so I've done have all been green, and if they were initially yellow, typically in my in-studio live streams that happens, I submit them for manual review and they're green within an hour. They used to take longer, but now YouTube's really gotten quick at manually reviewing videos. And I think it goes by the channel rating. Like if you have a good channel, like I said about mine, and your accuracy is like 90% or higher, and you have a good standing channel with very few or zero copyright claims like me, and you have no copyright strikes or community guidelines, then they trust you because you're displaying that you're trustworthy, and they'll just approve you quicker when anything gets demonetized by the artificial intelligence. By the artificial intelligence, the computer. All right, folks, get your questions, comments, and concerns in the chat. I'm going to be going off the air in about I'd say about 15 minutes. I'm going to come up to the observation deck on this side. -108 minus a couple minutes, 106. That's an hour and 46 minutes. Folks, there's plenty of content for you to catch up on that's been happening here lately on the Coach Eli, Elias Melas channel. Also, make sure, again, go check out the replay of Empress Janet's stream from earlier. I was the special guest on there, and you can find that link on my community tab. It'll take you there. While you're there, please subscribe, bang the bell, select the notifications, because Janet and I are going to be working on a bunch of things, in the near future, and for as long as we can. And we're going to continue to reconnect with some of the great people that we lost touch with in the past, and we're going to also connect with some amazing new people. And we don't want you folks to miss out, okay? We don't want you folks to miss out. And on YouTube, there's so much content now. You want to follow us, support us, and you like what we do, you have to subscribe and bang the bell and select all notifications, and then pay attention to your notifications on your smartphone, on your lock screen, or through your YouTube app. What a beautiful day. I'll take this moment, folks, before I shut down and relaunch again to make sure the chat refreshes. I don't know why the chat keeps getting stuck. But, I want to take this opportunity here again today to really thank each and every one of you that has come back to support this channel here, and to also start supporting some other great people that I've reconnected with or have been connected with for a while. And again, I am kind of an in-your-face type of guy, but that's not how I mean to come off. Sometimes you have to get into people's faces in a dominant yet loving way to get the point across so you can truly help them. And I know that compared to many other coaches, and I've said this before, I'll say it again, I'm not your typical conventional life coach. I'm an unconventional life coach. And so is Corey Wayne. Corey Wayne will swear. He doesn't care if people get mad. Back in the days, 10 years ago, like, people would get mad, like when people would swear on YouTube, right? And I'm sitting here and saying, you got to be fucking kidding me, because nowadays people use those words as like regular lingo. You go to work nowadays and your bosses are talking that way, right? It's like, you should still be as professional as possible, but you shouldn't, stop supporting someone or, attack someone because they use a few cuss words to express how they feel, And I've said it before and I'll say it again, because I used to be a little more careful with some cussing, but ever since YouTube a few years back came out and said, occasional profanity won't necessarily get you demonetized, but context matters, right? So, like I've said before, if you, use profanity in a way where you're attacking people directly, that's different than if you just use it to express how you feel about something, or how something makes you react or something like that, right? The context matters, right? And it used to be like you would only get demonetized if you would swear in the first 30 seconds or first 5%, 3 to 5% of the video. But even now, they've updated their monetization policies to even allow, a few soft profanity words and maybe like one regular profanity word. And then it's funny how they write it. YouTube and Google, on the Google help pages, they try to write it as professionally as possible. They write F ** K and stuff like that, and S ** T and BI ** H. I mean, seriously here, do we have to, we can say the words in the right context in the videos, but on the Google help pages for YouTube, because Google owns YouTube, we all know that, right? They gotta abbreviate writing out what you're allowed to say so you can stay monetized. I just thought that was a little bit comical. Folks, I'm gonna go off the air. I'll be right back in a minute to let the chat reset. All right, we should be back live. We're at 115 minutes minus a couple minutes, 113 minutes, an hour and 53 minutes. We can discuss it all if you want, Eli. Okay. Michael says, how you don't get into fights over politics and religion? Oh, how to avoid fights over politics and religion? We could talk about that. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. An interesting topic. Hopefully, it won't get demonetized. Jan says, "Did you get rid of the ones that do turn yellow?" Just a question, brother. Good stream, Eli. Chat and bushes. Good stream, Eli. Janet, to answer your question, here's the thing. When I first started this channel, I wasn't monetized for the first year, and I had created a lot of content on Facebook that I uploaded to this channel, and I was really, amping up the profanity on Facebook. I was just, I'm not gonna lie. I'll say this now. It's years down the road. After what happened with my ex Dana years ago, basically, I just kind of went off a bit, and when I got monetized, a lot of those videos had a yellow icon. Maybe because of the titles and stuff like that, or what was said, I'm not quite sure. Not all of them, but I'd say probably I had maybe like 15 or 20 yellow icons, right? Now, some of them I did submit for manual review and they got approved, but I didn't want to submit them all for manual review. I just thought that would be too many, and that it would, get YouTube to look closer and maybe something bad happen. So what I did was I just turned off monetization for those, because all my videos that were created, that were starting to be created after that point, were all green, because I more so was reading into what you can monetize and can't, and I know how to title things in ways that are not going to get me demonetized. But another thing also started happening too. If you haven't noticed, Janet, a lot of you that are new to the YouTube Partner Program, this doesn't apply to live streams, because nobody knows the title until you start your stream, until after it's done. But when you're doing pre-recorded videos, you have what's called a self-certification process you go through. YouTube started doing this, I think, about a year and a half ago or so, maybe almost 2 years ago. I think it was about a year and a half ago. So basically, if you have a good accuracy record with YouTube, you can upload those and tell YouTube that your video is safe for ads, and they will go with your rating over the artificial intelligence's rating of the monetization status on your video, unless there's something really off, right? So it's gotten a lot better. But yeah, what I did with the older ones, there were like 15 of them that were yellow. And you got to understand, I've got literally probably like 1,200 plus videos on this channel, maybe 1,300, but only close to probably 850 or 900 are public, right? Out of all those videos, all of them are green, with the exception of maybe 15 of them or so that I didn't submit for manual review. And, that gives you a very, very high accuracy rating with YouTube. I have no copyright claims. I don't use copyrighted music, even though you can use it in some cases, but you just will get demonetized, right? What people don't get is that if you have more videos that have copyright claims, even though they won't take down your video, your monetization status gets turned off for that video. You get demonetized on that video. And you can get removed from the YouTube Partner Program if you don't have enough public videos that are fully monetizable. Why would YouTube want to keep in the Partner Program if you're not making content that ads can go on? Now, they'll still put ads on your videos when there's a copyright claim, but that money will go to the copyright holder or owner instead of you. So again, what's the use of you being in the partner program and having ads run on your channel if you can't make any money out of it, right? Just follow the rules. Follow the rules, read the guidelines, subscribe to the Creator Insider channel, and watch a lot of their videos from a year or two ago. The newer videos, they update you. They're not as good as the older ones, but they'll still update you. But the older ones that were run by a guy named Tom that used to run the channel, they'll teach you a lot. I learned a lot from that channel. There's some people coming here, so I'm gonna go off to the side and let them walk. You got a couple that's holding hands on the sidewalk that there's only enough room for one person to walk by on each side. So instead of them going single file, they still sprawled across. And I had to walk on the street to pass. See, even when I'm with my lady and we're in a situation like that, we're always so respectful and aware of our surroundings, and we make room for other people to get by. But some people just don't realize it. Some guys are so beta, I hate to keep saying that, some guys are so beta that them just being on a date with a woman, they just lose their mind, and they're just not aware of their surroundings, period. They'll figure it all out one day. Folks, get your final questions, comments, concerns in the chat. I'm going to go off the air and read the chat one more time and then wrap it up. All right, we've got 15 in the box. We're back. We got 15 in the box, 17 thumbs up. Please smash the thumbs up. Let's get this to 20 thumbs up by the time it goes to the replay in a few minutes here. I want to thank everyone for being here. Empress Janet, O'Neilly was here earlier. Michael was here, Lewis was here, and Rosie was here, and anyone else that I failed to mention. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you to my lady for watching behind the scenes, and we'll talk in a bit, babe, and I will help you resolve this with your 27-year-old daughter. We will make it happen so she's happy, her man's happy, you're happy, the family's happy, and goodness gracious, it'll end up making me happy just because there'll be peace. Peace amongst the ladies, right? Have yourselves a good one, folks. I'll see you tomorrow for more than likely 2 shows, but at least a walk. Take care, good night, and as always, be good to each other.